Jake Jones won for Attorney General.
Do you think that's good that he won? After musing about the killing of his political opponents and their children?
I don't think it's responsible for someone in his position to use rhetoric that is incendiary like that.
And if you were a Virginia voter, would you have looked past that?
Yeah. I mean,
why?
Because voting is not a personality test. It's not a morality test. It's a test about who you think is actually going to be best.
Voting is not a morality test.
I don't think it's a morality test in the sense of...
Because every single day we hear from Democrats, Donald Trump is a felon, Donald Trump is an alleged this, an alleged that. So I think for a while you'll have tried to make voting a morality test.
I don't blame voters for making that calculus for themselves.
Yeah. If Abigail Spanberger had a private text where she was using the N-word, would that prevent you from voting for her over Winsome Sears?
It would not prevent me from voting for her. I think it would certainly be part of my calculus in voting for her.
But would you be willing to look past that in the same way that you're willing to look past a Democrat running for Attorney General saying that he wanted his political opponent dead as well as that person's children?
I mean, I don't think so.
I'm just curious, what your red line is. If Abigail Spanberger, of course it's hypothetical, but if there was a private message where she used the N-word, you are less inclined from what I'm hearing to look past that than you are someone saying, kill those Republicans, I want them gone.
I think that's a sliding scale, yes. I mean, I'm happy to admit that I am somebody who, as a black person, who is black with a capital B, that is something that is an issue.
I don't claim to be more politically smart than anyone else, right? I don't claim to be that. But what I always say is that I point out the hypocrisies, right? And I just point out, because like a little while ago, the whole young Republicans thing, their stupidity, I said that I don't care, right? I don't care if you are whatever, right? You are, when you are in a position of, hypothetically, right? When you're in a position of power, right? I don't care what your mindset is necessarily, right? If you are a terrible person, if you have a terrible beliefs, what I care about is your actions, right? Because at the end of the day, people will think what they can think, but if they enact, their actions correlate with their thoughts, then yes, that is where I draw the line, right? Because again, we can't be thought police, we can't be we can't police people's minds, but we can police people's actions, right? That's my thing. Where same with the young Republicans, they were being racist and all that stuff. Sure, I mean they're shitty people, but again, I said I didn't care, right? What I care about is what are their actions, okay? Are they basically, in the real world being racist to people, or are they, thinking it? Okay, that's my thing. Because I think, again, at the end of the day, we can't police people's thoughts. That's my thing. So I had a contrarian, right? Someone who wanted to call me out on it, and that's why I think they always bring up. Again, they always bring up Donald Trump's, all the shady things he's done, all the immoral things that he's done, but they can't necessarily point out to his actual physical real world actions, right? What policies has he done that made him terrible and all that shit. They really can't, but they definitely bring up his immoral or terrible past. Great. Again, I didn't vote, but I don't care about this person based on his character, right? Particularly because this is the thing where, again, we're not trying to be friends, right? We're not trying to be family or whatever, right? You're not having a personal connection with the person, right? They're your representative, they're your politician. You care what their actions are. You don't care about what it's like being with you in a Christmas party. That's the difference we seem to not understand.